Hello guys, welcome again to another BTC update. I hope you are doing great today. Apologies for my voice in advance. I've been under a nasty bug for quite some time now and I'm just starting to recover. So I thought to make a video to talk about the markets and to tell you guys what I think, what's happening with Bitcoin. So with that being said, like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot if you can help the channel grow. And as always, follow me on Twitter, link in the description below. So anyways, let's get started and talk about BTC. Uh, this video is going to be very important. I haven't checked the charts yet. It's for my first time looking at them properly. I'm going to be talking about micro outlook and macro outlook. Again, excuse my coughing and my voice. So, and I'm gonna explain in details what I mean by macro and micro, because there's a lot of things happening with Bitcoin, and there's a lot of things happening in the world around us that might affect the price of Bitcoin. Everything's looking good, everything's looking bullish. There's a lot of bullish signs, but we cannot negate the bearish signs as well. So I'm going to try my best to give you a very detailed answer to every question that you might have in the back of your head. All right? So first things first, we're going to talk about smaller time frames, like the like the daily time frame, and then we go to the weekly and the monthly. Just for a tip, for a reminder, when I say daily time frame, or when I say that I'm talking about the daily time frame, daily time frame translates to the next couple of days, aka 7 to 10 days. So that's my analysis and my prediction for the next 7 to 10 days. If I talk weekly time frame, then weekly time frame translates to around 4 to 21 weeks, depending on it. Sometimes it's very big, sometimes very small. The weekly is really quite different from the daily. But generally speaking, the weekly tends to be from 4 to 8 weeks. That's generally speaking. Sometimes it can stretch a little bit more. Sometimes it can be a little bit less. And the monthly time frame, it talks about the next couple of months, aka 6 to 12 months. So when I say daily, it's 10 days. When I say weekly, let's say it's 10 weeks. And when I say monthly, it's 10 months. So 10, 10, 10. That way it's easy for you on average. Again, sometimes it could be a little bit more, sometimes it could be a little bit less. So I'm going to start with a daily time frame, because Bitcoin has been acting very weird in the daily time frame. So a couple of things to know. We have, I'm going to try to use a parallel channel with this. So I'm going to be charting this for the first time with you guys. I haven't charted this. This is a new chart for me. So we're gonna do this on this side, and then we're gonna do this on that side, and I'm gonna explain to you what I see here. Some of you who are well versed in TA can already see where I'm going with this, but for you who are not very well versed, I'll explain what I'm doing here. So these are areas right now in the daily time frame where Bitcoin is being basically compressed. All right. We still haven't lost any major structure to become bullish or bearish in either direction, right? We have a horizontal level of support here, or a horizontal region of support, which is between around, I would say, 71.5 and the all-time high. And we have an inclined, resistance, and we have an inclined region of support, which is very hard to say. But for example, today, on this day, that inclined region of support is between 64,887 and 66,888. So this is a level of support, and this is a level of resistance. Now this, in technical analysis, is called an ascending triangle. These triangles are really bullish in nature. They're not bearish. And usually the target, if they break to the upside, so if we see a break to the upside here, a proper break, which hasn't happened yet. A proper break is something that looks like this. This is what a proper break looks like. All right, you break the all-time high decisively, you go for a retest, and then you continue upwards. So if we see a decisive break above this area, above this region, which is the all-time high, this goes, the technical target for this is 95K. Now, conservatively speaking, and because I'm not a pattern trader, I'm just a resistance support trader, I would say 80K minimum if there's a breakout here. 76 to 80K minimum. Okay. Now, on the other hand, the downside target of this, so if we have a breakout from the downside target will be the beginning of the move. So the beginning of the move is around 50K, give or take a little bit. So in my humble opinion, and I've been saying this for a long time on Twitter, Bitcoin has two scenarios. It's either gonna do a bullish breakout, you know, consolidate in the 60K range and then do a bullish breakout, or it's gonna drop to around 50, even 45K if there's a strong wick or a manipulation wick, and then continue on its run. So this is what I see on the daily. Now, from my personal opinion, the daily is not really looking indicator wise. Now, pattern wise, it's looking bullish. We haven't launched structure. We're still holding support quite nicely. We're still getting rejected at resistance quite nicely again. But the daily indicators are bearish. Now, keynote here, bearish indicators don't really signal or signify bearish momentum. I'm going to repeat this. Sorry about my voice. It really hurts my throat. But a bearish indicator doesn't necessarily mean a bearish downtrend. It's not the real definition of what a bearish indicator is. Indicators that are bearish are indicators that are giving you signs that there is no more upside for this price action or for this stock or for this token. So when I say that Bitcoin is on the daily, by the way, the move is almost complete here. Also, the bearish move started around this area, and now we are 4 days in. And I told you already. Usually this daily time frame, a daily time frame prediction is around 10 days. Sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. So there's a week left for price action for this to finalize fully on the daily. In this week, in this upcoming 6 days, if we're able to hold this region and this indicator flips bullish again, then you can expect another move up towards the resistance area. And we're gonna keep doing this till we decide to break out from either resistance or support. Like, I cannot tell you, like, okay, listen, bullish means all-time high for sure. Bullish indicator means all-time high for sure. It doesn't work that way. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, I did talk about a couple of things that I think might make a decisive bullishness. For example, one thing for me personally is that will give me a 90% chance that the next move will break the all-time high is a daily bullish MACD cross. That's one characteristic, one property or one event that Bitcoin has to fulfill. And during all of this, there is no bullish MACD cross. So the MACD stayed bearish throughout all of this. Hence why we didn't get a breakout. And the second thing for me, if I'm not mistaken, was the weekly close above 71.5. So we did get actually one weekly close or a couple of weekly closes here above 71.5, but we didn't get the bullish MACD cross. I think if we can get both, now I think it's not 71.5 anymore. I think it's 71.787. But if we can get both requirements fulfilled, bullish MACD cross and weekly candle above 71.787, I think we will break the all-time high, regardless of what other prediction I have in store for you. We're talking about daily moves now. Now, keep in mind, daily translates to the next 7 to 10 days. So we could easily break the all-time high and be super bullish for the next 7 to 10 days. But if the weekly is bearish, that means that we're not out of the woods on a longer period time frame. So meaning the next couple of weeks or months might be bearish for us. And usually, April, May, June, July, September, August, these months, they're not really good for Bitcoin. We have 3 months that are generally bearish for Bitcoin, and we have 2 months that are very boring, which are August and September. And then end of September, Bitcoin really starts to move, generally speaking. I've been in this for almost 3 runs now, and this is almost exactly happening the same way all the time. So yeah, this is for the daily. Now I'm going to go to the weekly, which translates to the next 10 weeks. Now, again, keep in mind that if I say bearish indicator, it doesn't mean that the price is going to drop. It just means, technically speaking, it just means that the price is not going to move up anymore. Because sometimes we have bearish indicators and price consolidates, which is something very bullish. It shows strength. It means that the indicators are being bearish, but price is being held as support and consolidating in a range. Right? So for example, here's a perfect example. Price was here throughout this area, you know, around 32 weeks worth of bearish indicator. But the price, no, sorry, from this area to this area here, I would say. So the indicators were bearish all the way up to here. So 13 weeks of bearish momentum. Yet the price didn't really drop, especially from here to here. So 9 weeks of the price holding above 25K. That in itself is a bullish sign. But technically speaking, bearish indicators means price doesn't move up. And it's true. The price did not move up. It did not do all-time highs. It did not break previous highs for 9 weeks. And it did not drop. Sometimes it plays out, by the way. Sometimes the bearish indicators give you a bearish trend. Price does drop. For example, here, bearish indication started here, and price kept dropping all the way down to here, which is our bear market, basically. So 55 weeks of bearish indicators. Now, this was the beginning of the bear market. This is another area here. Bearish indicators were here, around this area. And then price kept dropping all the way down to here. So this is around 15 weeks of bearish indicator, of bearish, momentum. Now the bearishness dropped. The bearish indicators fulfilled their requirements, which is basically they gave us a drop. But then price consolidated for quite some time while the indicators were still bearish. And then finally they flipped bullish while price maintained. And then we had the move up. And I want you guys to pay attention closely to this scenario specifically and to where we are right now. This is very resembling of this. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it's very resembling indicator-wise, okay? Anyways, and just keep in mind that this is the weekly time frame. It's not the daily time frame. We did the analysis on the daily. Now we're gonna be doing the analysis on the weekly, which translates to the next couple of weeks, right? Minimum, 4 weeks. Maximum, it depends. Now, I wouldn't say 21 weeks, but it can happen. It can happen. We could have a long period of bearishness. Okay, so weekly time frame. 2 things to know from the weekly time frame. If you know me, I use these EMAs. Okay, these EMAs are my magical EMAs. I trust them. I should trust them more, but I trust them a lot. These EMAs are coming in around $50,000 and $56,000. As long as Bitcoin is holding above these EMAs, and as long as these EMAs do not cross bearish, similar to what happened here, we are and we will remain in a bull run. Okay? Just let me repeat. So as long as Bitcoin doesn't lose these EMAs, lose them, it goes below them, and these EMAs don't cross bearish, right? We will remain in a bull run. And this for me is 99% guaranteed. That as long as these don't cross bearish and as long as Bitcoin doesn't lose them, we will remain in a bull market. And right now, we are at 56, they're at 56 and 50, right? And we still really didn't drop anything. And the more these come up and the more we consolidate here, the more likely that we're gonna pop from where we are. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because the worst case scenario that Bitcoin can do is go to them with a slight wick lower, which is this supply and demand zone right here, which is around 45K, and then continue up. That's the worst case scenario. Something similar to what happened here, where we lost the monthly EMAs, but we didn't cross bearish on them. We remained bullish reclass, you see, and then we popped straight through. So this is very, very important, and I want you guys to keep it in mind because it's gonna make a lot of sense when I start talking about the weekly time frame indicators themselves, and then I'm gonna relate them to this part next to us. Okay, so now weekly indicator. So that's the first thing that I want to point out, right? So the weekly EMAs are still good. We're still Gucci. Nothing to be worried about. Nothing to be scared of. Price is looking really good structure-wise. I mean, we've been here for quite some time now, for around, how much is this? Let's see, for around 5 weeks. The more we stay above this area, the better. We have a lot of liquidity being bought up around this area here. As you can see, we're having long wicks to the upside, meaning a lot of interest buying Bitcoin at this point. But again, on a weekly time frame, 4 weeks is the minimum. It's not enough, Now, indicator-wise, Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, well, it depends on tomorrow's weekly close. But I mean, if we close where we are right now, similar to this, so 67,500, then Bitcoin is in a confirmed weekly downtrend. All right. So this just translates to no more upside moves, similar to what I said here. You see, it's exactly similar to what I said here. So this means at least no, in the best case scenario, because there is the worst case scenario, which is basically a retracement on the weekly, and I said that it can happen. So something similar to this, as you can see here. So the weekly retracement got confirmed here, and then we had around 8 weeks worth of retracement before we popped one more time up, and that pop wasn't really enough as well. And then we got another weekly retracement as well here, and we had around 11 weeks of retracement before we really started to move. So right now, if we do close like this, then I believe that BTC is in or will be in a weekly retracement, which translates to no more upside for the next couple of weeks. All right, I would say, just by guessing it here, I would say around 5 to 6 weeks minimum of no more upside. Now, a very good sign would be 5 to 6 week candles being squeezed here without losing this trend line. That would be a very, very good sign. It means that this bullish pen is about to rip to the upside. But it's very unlikely to get 5-6 weekly candles squeezed in such a small range. But we will see. We will see as the data unfolds. The weekly is a very big time frame. But again, weekly time frame indicators are bearish, meaning worst case scenario, we will have a weekly retracement, which could be towards the weekly EMAs, all right? Which could be towards the weekly EMA. Most likely, our first area, our first target for the weekly indicators will probably be below $59,000 because there's a lot of liquidity lying down there. So that's one target, and the weekly EMAs are coming in right now around that area. So you get 56.5, and we have another one at 50. So it could be it could be a retracement towards this area, all right? Or it could be just consolidation over a period of time, which is better, obviously, for the bulls. Definitely. We cannot say for sure, as technical analysts, as traders, we cannot say for sure, because as a trader, I have a rule. If my indicators are bearish, I enter a short position, and if after some time, price is still consolidating and not really moving down, I get out. I don't stay in the market, because the indicators are bearish and price is consolidating, then this is a bullish sign. It's not a bearish sign. So unfortunately, I cannot tell you if this will happen or if that will happen. But what I can tell you is that for sure, there will be no upside for the next couple of weeks on the weekly time frame. Okay, there will be no upside. And this is very, very important, because we could get an upside on the daily time frame, but not on the weekly time frame. Okay, so the weekly could be bearish, the daily could be bullish. We get a new all-time high in the next 10 days, 20 days, let's say, and then that's it. And then the weekly starts to, enter into that bearish downtrend, and either we consolidate or we drop. And the best way to explain this to you guys, excuse me, is through this right here. I told you to pay attention because it would make sense, all right? So right here, okay, right there, the weekly indicators were bearish, right? And they gave us, a bearish downtrend, right? As you can see here, they did give us a bearish downtrend. And you can see that over the next, 13 weeks, we were actually dropping and not moving up on the weekly. But if you zoom in to the weekly candle right here, which was after the bearish indicators were confirmed on the weekly, if you can see here, we did do an all-time high, another new all-time high at $65,000. And then if you see again, we got two candle closes which were bearish, and then we moved nicely up towards, I'd say, how much was this? Let me just see here. A 24% move to the upside. So we went all the way from 65, so we did a new all-time high, then we dropped towards 46,000, then we went to 58 or 61,000 or 58,000, and then we continued with a weekly bearish trend. And this move from here to here, which is basically tap 65, drop to 46, tap 58, and then continue on the weekly bearish trend, that whole move was a daily time frame move. That was a move where the daily time frame was bullish, and we got that upside towards 65K. But that didn't change the fact that the weekly was bearish. And On the daily, if we go to the daily time frame, sorry, if we go to the daily time frame, you can see here that on the daily we got around this is the bullish daily, by the way. We got around 19 days worth of daily bullish price action. Yeah, 20 days. So on the daily, we moved bullishly for 20 days, and we tapped at 65, and then we continued to drop on the weekly time frame. So it was just like basically a short rally. It wasn't really a huge rally to the upside. And the weekly confirms this, by the way, because if you go here, you can check that there were no weekly candles, successive weekly candles above this all-time high. So nothing like here. So here we had one weekly candle and then another one, even though this is not a very good example, but something like this, for example. The all-time high was around 20K, which is here. We broke it with one successive weekly candle. This is what a weekly bullish indicator means. This is what it should show you for the bull run to start. This one. Successive weekly candles so one higher than the previous one, creating big moves like 10% moves, and just pushing up and up and up and up and up. So this is an indicator. This is what a weekly bullish indicator should do to price action. And this one here is a bearish weekly with a bullish daily. So I hope that makes sense for you. So anyways, guys, those are my 2 cents for now. Monthly is looking super good. Like the monthly is looking great. There's no fear right now on it. And the 3-month is even better. The 3-month is looking super, super good. I just really hope we don't form a bearish divergence here on the 3-month. That's it. I would be so happy and so ecstatic to see the 3-month time frame, stochastic RSI, move above this level here, this 50 level, because in the previous run we didn't move it, so our run was really short-lived, basically. So I would really hope that this one breaks the 50 level, 60 level on the stochastic RSI on the 3-month time frame, because that will just mean more upside. The bull run will be a little bit longer than previous bull runs. So something similar to here, it broke that level and it gave us a hell of a run in 2016. It gave us around 4 to 5 extra 3-month bars. So meaning 12-month extra worth of upside. So the bull run here was a year extra. So I hope that happens. So just to summarize, guys, daily for me right now is bearish. It's not bullish. AKA, I don't think the price is going to move, break the all-time high yet. I think either price is going to consolidate above this red region, or it's going to lose it and probably go tap the lower end of the liquidity pool, which is around here, around the 60K region, give or take a few $1,000, depending where people put their stop losses. But I doubt it's going to go there, by the way, because it's almost finished. So over the next 6 days, this bearishness, aka no moving up, should be over, maybe a little bit less than 6 days. On the weekly time frame, if we close this weekly candle close as such or lower, so at 67.6 or lower than 67.6, then this will confirm a weekly downtrend, and that just means that over the next couple of days, in the best case scenario, we will not move up anymore, rather than just we will consolidate and chill. Worst case scenario is probably we retest the 1830 EMAs on the weekly time frame, which are coming in around 50 to 56 with the potential wick to the downside to tap this supply and demand zone right here. And monthly is looking super great, no worries. So the next year is bull run for sure over the next year, and 3 months is looking great also. Just hoping we don't get a bearish divergence on the 3 month. And one quick note on the weekly time frame, as long as these EMAs don't cross bearish and as long as we stay above them, if these 2 criteria are always met, the main one is not cross bearish, but as long as these 2 don't get fulfilled together, especially the crossing one, we're good to go for the bull run. So I don't think you need to panic. I think you need to be thinking about how to DCA properly, because you don't want to buy the first end of the dip. You want to buy the last end of the dip, so you can secure very good prices on your altcoins, because I think this will be a once in a lifetime opportunity. I think in 9 months from now, around end of year, January, December, I think you guys will be very, very happy with your investments. I've been preaching, and I was preaching to buy the bottom right here. Whether this was a bull run or not, I didn't really care. All I saw that the bottom should be bought, and if you bought here or here or here or even here, I think you'll be very, very pleased in the next 9 months. Anyways, guys, that's it. I need to go relax my voice. Thank you again for all the support. I have a new challenge coming up, copy trading on Bitget, turn $1,000 into $10,000 challenge. Hopefully I can do it in around 1-2 months. So if you want that, if you want to know about that, follow me on Twitter because I'll be posting a lot of information about it. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you again next time.